any departure from the script.
There was one sitting on
There's a
room key under my chair.
There's a room key under the
Okay,
chair.
somebody's lost that, so.
It's right here.
Women of courage, women of strength, women of influence. There are sisters who've gone before us in the faith. Of the 188 women recorded on our Bible, we're often told very few details. And some of their names are not even given. We catch but glimpses of them in the pages of Scripture. And there's much about their lives that we have yet to discover. Who are these familiar, yet sometimes obscure characters?
No, I would say they're she-roys. She-roys. You know, like this is herstory, profiles in herstory.
Oh, right. Sheroes. Okay, got it. And like I was saying, we know some of their stories. We know some of their struggles.
And we know some of their secrets.
But there's much more to be told. They were brave, resourceful, industrious women of faith, strategy, and strength. And our profiles in herstory.
Profiles in herstory, cameos are these, a tribute to those who have come before, a look at their biography, passed down a heritage of character With no further ado, we now pronounce to you our profiles in history.
We don't know her name, but we have seen her searching the city for her husband.
Oh, poor Mrs. Enoch.
Well, you know, investigators are still trying to find the whereabouts of Mr. Enoch. You know, he was the father of the famous Methuselah. Mr. Enoch has not been seen for several weeks, and there's very few clues in his disappearance.
Mrs. Enoch, what happened to your husband? He just went out for a walk? So you haven't had contact with him since then? Do you think that he staged his own disappearance? Mrs. Enoch?
Our next profiles are two Egyptian midwives, Hua and Shipra.
Hua and Shipra? What kind of names are those?
They're Egyptian.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
Today, we're going to recognize them for their courage and ingenious plan to save the lives of Hebrew boys under the reign of a wicked pharaoh. Hua and Shipra were the Egyptian OB nurses who oversaw the work of all of Egypt's midwives. When Pharaoh became alarmed about the increasing number of the captive Israelites, he personally told Hua and Shipra to let the girl babies live, but kill all the boy babies if they delivered.
Garrett gone? That wasn't in the script. Hua and Shipra feared God, so they didn't do what the king said. They thwarted the intent of Pharaoh, and they saved the lives of hundreds and hundreds of Hebrew boys.
And Pharaoh believed us. We just told him those Hebrew women were so sturdy, they had those babies before we ever got there. Like they didn't have to push very long, you know? They were so hardy, and we were just plain tardy. And you know that Pharaoh, he even bought the part about the camel losing the shoe and traffic jam?
And now, a tribute to an unknown hero. The women of Judges 9:53 and 2 Samuel 11:21, whose name is not given, but her act of bravery resulted in saving the lives of hundreds of people and destroying a wicked enemy.
I think we should call her Millicent, Millie for short.
No, I don't think so. I think we'll just call her Millicent, because she sent a millstone down into the head of wicked Abimelech while he was trying to burn down a tower with her in it. News traveled fast that he had burned a tower in the next county with 1,000 people in it. When he showed up in her town and all the people fled into their tower and climbed up on the roof, she bravely took action.
She sized up the situation
Concluded, it was desperate.
and wasted no time in making her plan.
And she rolled the millstone off the wall and down onto Abimelech's head.
Yes, the off-the-wall part seems to be pretty obvious. Yeah.
And as that arrogant creep lay dying, he begged his armor guy to finish him off with his sword, so it couldn't be said that a woman brought him down.
Ridiculous. Worrying about his ego at a time like that.
Millicent, she's a woman of courage, strength, and quick thinking.
Yes, and a very good aim, I'd say.
And now, a woman of courage, patience, and faith. She was resourceful and organized. Our own archangel, Mrs. Noah. She was the woman most responsible for the survival of the human race, yet we don't really even know her name, and she's only mentioned in the Bible 5 times.
Well, I think we're all familiar with Noah's Ark.
Yeah, but you know what? We might forget Mrs. Noah was there too for that whole ordeal. For 120 years, she prepared for that coming disaster alongside of her husband, faithfully and obediently keeping things afloat. Everyone around thought she was all wet.
You're so funny. She did much more than go along for the ride. You see, it was certainly no pleasure cruise. Her to-do list, it included many details that I'm sure Noah never thought about. Well, she had to sew all those hundreds of feed bags. Yeah, and she had to make homemade lye soap. Oh, how about stocking up on all those spices? You know, all that kind of stuff that she would have to have, I mean, for sure. And, well, what about the seeds and the dried food? All of those things you'd have to have. And, well, and something very important, she'd have to shop for extra shoes.
Right.
I mean, you know, you have to have extra shoes.
Mr. Noah and his crew, they were busy building that great ark.
But it was Mrs. Noah who added her homey touches and supervised the inventory, of course. There were so many logistical issues to work out. Sanitation and laundry.
Stocking animals.
Organizing the recycling plan.
And lots of canning and dehydrating.
Definitely.
After all, you know, they would be on that ark for 371 days. And it would be a long time before trees would grow food and crops could be planted and harvested. You know, I bet that ark was a fascinating place.
Especially after Mrs. Noah gave her decorating touches. I mean, what woman wouldn't live in a barn for a year without trying to make it a more comfortable home environment? Yeah.
But you know, what I was wondering is how did Noah intend to get rid of all those animals?
I know the answer to that one.
You do?
Oh yeah, he was out in this cornfield one day and he heard this voice saying, "If you build it, they will come."
Maybe it was luck. Smelly in that ark? How many hundreds of thousands of animals were there anyway?
How do they keep fresh drinking water? And did the ark have running gutters? Oh,
And how much did they know? God told them it would rain for 40 days and nights, but you think they knew they'd be on the ark for almost 53 weeks?
that is a really long time to live with your relatives.
Mrs. Noah worked and waited for 120 years, knowing her world and most of the people that she knew would be lost. She raised her sons to be different than the world. When the violence and wickedness of the world reached a point of no return and God finally brought destruction, I wonder how she coped.
You know, her faith was really strong, but do you think she was afraid sometimes?
I wonder how it felt to be only one of 8 human beings alive on the planet. Where would they land? Where would they live?
Would it be really muddy and how long? You know.
And then, you know what else I was thinking? What would it be like knowing for the rest of your life, you would be the oldest woman on earth? No peers? The only woman of your generation.
No one to go to lunch with. No one to go shopping with. No stores!
I wonder what the living conditions were like on that ark. What did they eat?
Organic truffles.
Animal crackers.
I wonder if she ever had any time to herself, or was she always feeding those old smelly animals?
I wonder, did she even know what day of the week it was? Sounds like me.
What would we do in Mrs. Miller's shoes?
Have you ever wondered what you would do if you had to walk with Mrs. Mama's shoes? Would you be brave or sing the blues, trembling all day long? Mrs. Noah, may we ask of you, would you consent to an interview? We want to know a lot about get you strong. What did you think when Noah said, we must build an ark? What went through your head? Did you wonder if he made a mistake when everyone laughed and called you a flake? And when the day came and it all came true and you'd done everything that you could do, what did it do inside of you when that great boat began to float?
feel about your name being omitted from the record? What do you plan to do when you get off the ark?
I plan to write a cookbook because God said we can eat meat.
So, what did you miss the most while on the ark?
A hot shower and takeout.
Did people throw things at you and write graffiti on the ark? Mrs. Noel, what did you think of Noah's ark decorating theme for children's room?
Oh, holy.
Okay, I think that's enough for now, ladies. Thank you, thank you.
Sadly, though, it must be reported that not all the stories of women in the Bible were recorded because they were good examples. Such is the case of Sapphira, a woman whose name means beautiful, but her character revealed deceit.
I don't think I know that story.
Oh, everybody knows that story. Sapphira and her husband Ananias sold some property so they could give money to their church. They wanted to look just as generous as several others who had sold possessions to help the needy. The problem was they kept some of the money and lied about it, saying they were giving all of the money they received. They portrayed their offering as their all, and then they thought they could get away with it. They lied to men and they lied to God. But the Holy Spirit knew and told on them. It was a very sad day at their church. Can you imagine the shock of finding out that your friends were dishonest and greedy, and then seeing them fall down dead right then and there? And then, that's not the worst part, you have to go and bury them.
If they lied, they died.
That church was deeply grieved to lose their friends, and the whole thing was a lesson that they would never forget. So, all we know about Sapphira is just this one incident, but her name is forever recorded in the Bible without anything good said about her. Right there, on the sacred page for all the world to see. Immortalized in a book that will never go out of print. For countless millions and coming generations to read.
And all those Gideon Bibles and all those hotels and all
Why, can you imagine how shocked we would be if something like that happened here? What if we found out that the retreat registration ladies had dipped into the fund and paid their own way to retreat?
I knew it. And what if the children's ministry director took the really good candy for Easter and he donated it, and replaced that good candy, like the really good stuff? Yeah, with that Dollar Tree candy.
Yeah, right, I think you're getting the idea, I guess. But how would you like to have your name written in the Bible like that, with only your bad behavior told?
I think it's a good thing that the Bible was written and published before I came along, so no one could write about me.
No chance to make amends. No time to get our affairs in order. No community service.
No time to run home and do your dishes. Really bad.
Kind of sad that we don't know anything else about her. You think she was basically a decent person? Did she have a lot of friends? Did she leave children behind?
Did she make her bed that morning?
I think I see Sapphira coming in now.
Scandal! Citizen said scandal!
Yeah. She's really hard to miss. You want to say that outfit is too high? I wonder where she got money for that.
Well, personally, I would be condemned. Anyway, she sold her beachfront condo to make a donation to the church facilities fund.
What's the facilities fund?
Oh, they're collecting money. Air condition the building, remodel the ladies' room, performance for the praise band. Sapphira expects to get a lot of attention because of her gift.
And I have a feeling that we'll be reading about her on the front page.
Hello. Have you seen what happened? He's really late. Was the secret our pictures taken today for the society?
You've heard Sapphira and her husband sold their property. They brought the money to the church to give it publicly, expecting recognition for their generosity. But the only thing they gained that day was notoriety. Oh, Sapphira, oh, Sapphira, oh, Sapphira, shame on you. The lie was just a little one, they thought it couldn't hurt. They tried to cover up and soon were covered up with dirt. How dangerous to believe a little sin could do no harm. At first they sold their property, and then they bought the farm. Oh, Sapphira, don't be a liar. Oh, Sapphira, think it through. Well, Sapphira, it's a lucky thing that you dropped in. We had a flash of news or to give you as the next of kin. Your husband just fell dead and you'll be next because you sinned. That get-up that you're wearing will be what you're buried in. Before tomorrow morning we'll all be mourning you. Oh, Sapphira, oh, Sapphira, oh, Sapphira. Well, Sapphira, there's no second chance to mend your ways. The memory that you left was one of shame instead of praise. To think that in our Hall of Fame it would have been a bust. But you bit the when you bit the dust. Oh, Sapphira, oh, Sapphira, oh, Sapphira, was it ever so tell us if the money that you gave was worth the cost. For trying to get a little, it was everything you lost. And through the ages, all who read the Bible know your name. And so we're nominating you into the Hall of Shame. Oh, Sapphira, oh, Sapphira, oh, Sapphira, was it worth the price? Tell me, oh, Sapphira, was it worth the price?
Well, thanks for joining us today. We're glad to have a chance to introduce these Bible women to you. As you can see, they're just average people like the rest of us.
But for some reason, their stories are recorded in God's book to help us learn from their experiences, and we hope you have learned a few things from them that you never knew before.
And just in case we've left anything out, be sure and go and read the book yourself. There are 180 plus women mentioned there. You might be pretty surprised what you'll find out.
Thank you.